Hey gamers, today we're going to be digging for gold. Let's check it out. The setup for this game is very simple. What you're going to take is you're going to take a cowboy of your color, put him on his little house. I have them all out here. You're going to put the little locomotive train right here at the beginning of the track, and he'll be moving down here. You're going to have a little die you'll place on the board, and then you're going to place these little raft tokens where the little tent poles are, and these are just rafts that the player can land on and move across the river just to get around the board a little bit faster. You will also take these type of sand tokens and put them all around the board. Now these sand tokens come in gold nugget values of 1 through 5. And so you won't be looking at them, but you'll be, put them face down, mix them all up, and throwing them around the board where you see these emblems here. You'll also, on your turn, you'll be rolling a die and moving that many spaces on the board. Now, the only time you don't move is if you roll the little 1, which has a little locomotive on there. If you roll that, you're going to move that locomotive 1 space down the board. And of course, that signals the end of the game. So once the train makes it all the way to the station right here, that signals the end of the game, and that's where everyone would count up their gold. So what you're going to be doing as a player is you're going to be moving around the board, rolling the die, and when you get to one of these, you're going to flip it over, and if it's gold, you're going to take the gold and end your turn right there. Now, even if you're only moving 1 space, you got to keep rolling this die because, of course, you could roll the locomotive and move it closer home. But anyway, you're going to be moving around, picking up gold, and you could come across bandits. Now, bandits have a number on them, 1 through 5, and you have to pick the die and roll a number to see if you can beat or match that number and capture the bandit. Anytime you roll 1s during this type of exercise, you do not move the locomotive because this is just to try to capture this bandit. So if I rolled under this number, I would lose any gold that I have on me at this point. You see, to keep the gold and actually score the gold, you have to take any gold you found and move it back to your house. Once you have it back in your house, it does count. It can't be stolen by other players or bandits. And you can take bandits back too, because if you do beat the bandit, you capture it, and if you bring it home, these are going to be worth points at the end of the game as well. One other thing that can happen while you're out here is kind of like push your luck in a way. You don't want to have walking around with too much gold and run into a bandit that you can't beat, or even more awful than that, run into a claim jumper. Maybe another player who lands on the same space as you says, hey, I'm going to challenge you. And it goes to a die roll. The highest die roll gets all that person's gold and bandits. Now, the winner, they can't do any more panning for gold. They have to immediately go back to their house. So, for instance, if black won and stole all blue's, his bandit and 2 gold nuggets, then what black would have to do is roll this die. And again, any 1s rolled during the fight or during the movement do not count, but he rolled a 2. He's going to go 1-2. He has to go back and deliver these goods because he just jumped someone's claim, and he can't go, he can't go out and keep searching for stuff when he's jumped someone else's claim. So you're going to keep going back and forth. Now you want to get your goods back to your station before the train comes in, because if the train comes in and let's say blue got, ooh, that's a 5, that's a 5, wow, this is a 4. All right, blue had all these gold nuggets and this outlaw, and he was trying to get back, but on one player's turn, the locomotive moved there and he didn't make it back to his house in time, then none of the stuff that's on his person would count at the end of the game. What you would count up is you'd count up all your gold nuggets, and then you get 2 points for every outlaw you've captured, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. Final thoughts, what do I think about the game? Well, the game has many names. I think Eureka is one of them, and there's several other ones too. I don't see much with the title gold. In fact, when I saw this game, I was like, wait, is that the same game as Eureka and everything else? And it is. And I don't think I've ever seen a video review of it, so I may be the first. Anyway, so what do I think about this game? For an older vintage game, this is actually pretty smart. It is push your luck. Not only just because some other claim jumper may hit you, but you could come across one bandit after the next, and they could be pretty high, and if you misroll, then you lost all your gold. But you're so greedy because you're right there, and you say, oh, I got to get more, just one more nugget. Really smart game for a vintage game to be that smart. And I love the game ends on that locomotive. I love that. The die with a little 1 on it with a locomotive symbol. That's really smart. I like this game. Such a really smart, simple game. It's a vintage game on top of that. So should you get you a copy? Yeah, if you find this, definitely do it. Because guess what? I searched for it and I struck gold. Pun intended. All right, gamers, that's all the time I have for now. Until next time, game on.